na baraka familia. Amani na baraka familia. Peace and blessings to you, family, in Swahili, and peace and blessings to you, family, in English. Today I want to rap with y'all about mental health. You know, aka the silent killer. Um, First and foremost, I want to um, give a quick breakdown of what I believe mental health is. Um, I believe mental health personally is like any other form of health, whether that health be physical health, whether that health be gut health, um, or whatever other kind of health, you know. And if we just being honest and we just putting things in perspective, the same way that these things being physical health and gut health, the same way that these things deteriorate and decrease and go down, these things can also increase and go up and get better. So it's definitely a health thing at the end of the day versus it being a condition that you can't get better from or that doesn't go away. I mean, at the end of the day, you need help, you know, and finding help and finding strategies. But all in all, it's stepping stones, because again, just giving my personal analysis on this, um, most people who have mental health issues, in my opinion, and just so I'm speaking directly to y'all, I think all of us have it, especially as black folks. You know what I'm saying? And I'll come back to it. If I remember it, I'll come back to it. But I think we all have it, you know, um, because it's hard out here. But all in all, it's stepping stones as well. So, we out here walking around thinking that we normal and stuff like that. And we are normal, don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? No matter what your condition is, you're still normal because you're still a human being, you're still a person. You know what I'm saying? But as far as diagnosis and stuff like that go, um, I think we all got a severe level of mental health and one way or another. Um, and I think it's just bad when we are unaware of it. I think it's just worse, more so when we're unaware of it. You know what I'm saying? And we just walking around and just thinking that we don't have an issue. It's almost like an addict. You know what I'm saying? Even in group and stuff like that, and AA and NA and stuff like that, you already know. The first thing they'll tell you there is that, you know, you can't even begin getting help until you acknowledge that you are powerless over your addiction. So the first start there to getting that help is acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? And the acknowledgement is so crazy and severe because 9 times out of 10, a person is in denial. You know what I'm saying? A person is in denial. You know what I'm saying? Not just not knowing that they don't got it, but just being in denial of it. Like, nah, who, me? Not me. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to put it out there, man, that it ain't a bad thing. It ain't all that bad. Just like being angry. Being angry is not all that bad. It's what you do with that anger that matters. You know what I'm saying? And mental health is the same thing, So with the mental health, again, it's something that this anything that deteriorates can go up as well. You just gotta pay attention. It's just simple science. Anything that goes down can go up. Anything that goes up can go down. You know what I'm saying? So um I would say for those who do want help or those who do think they should get some type of evaluation. And I get it. Nobody want to get that evaluation because it's like, more than likely we'll be getting evaluated by people who've never even been through the things that we've been through. And people already been trying to tell us throughout our whole lives and throughout our whole times of being here in America that we have problems, or that we're not good enough, or that, you know what I'm saying, we're not enough, you know. And so I get it all in all, but we got to be strong enough to come together and just go inside of that womb, into that womb, and just start doing work there, start doing the shadow work there, you know, because at the end of the day, there's broken pieces within us. And us being black people, especially us, there's many broken pieces within us because we've been put in this motherfucking hellhole. Just truth being told, we've been put in this hellhole, and um, we just been put here to fend for ourselves. If you want to be honest, in this hellhole, you know what I'm saying. The conditions that we've been put in, you know what I'm saying, is not conditions for a human to be in. These are conditions for, in my opinion, conditions for an animal or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to acknowledge that. So I'm saying all of that to say this: we was never meant to survive this. The ages that we done made it up in our 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, 70s and 80s, we were never meant to get there. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that they have put us through psychologically, um, and physically, the traps and stuff, and the ghettos and stuff, um, these things has been meant to break us. You know what I'm saying? These things have been meant to break us. So I encourage y'all, you know what I'm saying? I encourage y'all out there, man. If you are working on yourself and you are getting yourself together, and you are a work in progress, I'd rather say. You know what I'm saying? I commend you. You know what I'm saying? I commend you if you are a work in progress. You don't gotta kick yourself in the butt. It's always gonna be stuff about us throughout life that we gotta fix and that we gotta work on. You know what I'm saying? But just acknowledging it, you know what I'm saying, can help you begin a progress, or can help you begin a process where you can become your greater self or your greatest self while you're here on earth. You know what I'm saying? And that light, you never know, may shine off on the next person and influence them or encourage them to want to be their better self. You know what I'm saying? And I want to mention as well, you know, when we doing this shadow work and we getting into our shadow self and stuff like that, um, it's not just to try to exile a part of us that we don't care for, or a part of us that's bad, or a part of us that's the world alienates and make us feel like, you know what I'm saying, we ain't important, or we evil. You know what I'm saying? Those lower parts of yourself, I like to call it the lower self. I call it the womb. You know, those parts of yourself, I feel like at the end of the day, it's not for you to alienate or to exile, but it's to gravitate toward and get closer with. Um, love on your lower self. Don't just get stuck in your lower self, but love on your lower self to a point to where you want to figure out why you do the things you do. You know what I'm saying? Even if you know it ain't stuff that's good, but just knowing and understanding why you do it. You know what I'm saying? And making friends and making peace with that. Your lower self, I mean. You know, as well as your higher self, because all of it is a part of self together, your lower self and your higher self. It's all a part of you. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't trying to alienate any of that. You know what I'm saying? But the mental health thing is definitely something to be addressed, and I think you can address it by going into the womb. Um, it's psychology, y'all. Figuring out um when it was, or maybe even where it was that um things first started getting traumatic for you. Um, and most of the time it's in childhood. You know what I'm saying? So just going back, taking the time to go back, the same way you take time out of your life to do everything else, you get the time and you get the chance, sit back and reflect. And it'll probably even be something good to write down and take notes on throughout the ages of your life, throughout your adolescent years, throughout your youth. You know what I'm saying? Write down those traumatic things that happened to you, and be just as truthful to yourself as possible. You know what I'm saying? As far as how it may have changed your life. You know what I'm saying? Those little things, or those things that people may think are little things, or they might be little things, but sometimes little things play a big factor or a huge factor in our life. So sit back, man, and jot those things down, and try to reflect on it. That way you can begin a process or a journey of healing if you want that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, mental health is a silent death. It's a silent killer. You know what I'm saying? It can be killing you inside. It can be killing you inside to a point to where you just dead, and you out here walking around like you living, you breathing and stuff like that. You walking around like you alive, but to be aware is to be alive. Know that. To be aware is to be alive. So if you ain't even aware of yourself, your surroundings, your conditions, all of that, you ain't really there. Yeah, you ain't really there. It's called present. It's called present. Being present with yourself. You know, and I will say we don't gotta look at it like it's such a destination. But how about a journey? How about a journey? You know what I'm saying? But just taking steps and just realizing that, because it's real and it's very severe. You know, and we study losing people every day. Uh, whether it's on the side of being a victim or on the side of being a suspect of mental health. And I be having to tell people, when people have these conditions and stuff like that, um, it ain't really them that's committing the crimes and committing the acts. It's almost like a possession. Yeah, it's almost like they possess. They not even really in control of themselves. It's almost like a demon, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, how could you hold a person accountable for things that they don't even, they're not even, again, they're not even aware. A lot of y'all think that people are aware just because they can go and cross the street and they see the cars coming this and that way, and that don't mean that you're aware. It don't mean that you're aware. Just because you have a level of awareness doesn't mean that you're aware. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta bear with people, but and we gotta hold people accountable too. And the people I'm talking about is the people that's placed here to help us make sure that this world is a better place and a safer place, or our community, our environment is a better place or a safer place. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop just placing all the liability and the accountability on the people that's walking around with the conditions. Why isn't nobody trying to do anything about it? Instead, we just walking past these people every day, whether they be our relatives, friends, people we know. We walking past them every day. What is the solutions? It's easy to say, yeah, this person got a problem, that person got a problem. But my thing is, what I'm really getting at is, why do we wait till a person crash out to be like, oh, we should have gave them some help, or somebody should have gave them some help or some type of attention. Or another way to put it, why do we even wait till people crash out to even not care even more? Is my point. When we may have had the time or the chance to help them, when we were able to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's mental health, just like any other health, gut health, heart health, physical health. These things deteriorate just like they can increase. You know what I'm saying? So with your mental health, man, there are ways um to increase your mental health. Um, I'll just give you a quick example. I like to share my own life story and stuff like that, and experiences and stuff. There was times where there was once upon a time where my mental health wasn't the strongest. And when I say my mental health wasn't the strongest, I don't mean it in a sense like I wanted to kill myself, or I wanted to commit some type of suicide, or I wanted to take somebody else out. I don't mean it like that. There's different forms of mental health, and that's why I'm glad we're having this topic and this dialogue right now. Because when I refer to mental health in myself, What I mean is the triggers and um being at a point where you just so quick to snap. That is mental health. Why is it mental health? Because your mind should be much stronger than than you being at a place where somebody can just say something to you and it just make you snap. That mean your mental health is that mean your mindset is weak. You know what I'm saying? And not weak to a point to where you can't, you know what I'm saying, strengthen it and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? Um, my laws teaches us or teaches me that your power lies in your ability to control your emotions. Once someone has command over your inner world, they become your master. So a lot of us is walking around, we're not even in control of ourselves. How your mental health gonna be strong and stable when you're not even in control of yourself? You the next thing waiting to crash out because you have no control of yourself and you don't feel like it's necessary to have control over yourself. And you don't even think you can get there. You know what I'm saying? So the next thing I'm gonna talk about, because I'm trying to stay as well rounded on this topic as possible, but that's why we need brothers and sisters so that we can add on, and that it ain't just one person giving a perspective or giving a side. But yeah, I would say it's like they what they say in the art of war, man. Know yourself, know your enemy. A thousand battles, a thousand victories. So you got to know yourself. That's a part of it. You know, knowing those triggers, knowing the things that make you upset, the things that make you mad, the things that make you frustrated. Um, and being honest with that, even if you ain't telling another person what it is that's making you mad, but just you knowing it because it's for you. You know what I'm saying? Um, if you know these things already, then you know when to distance yourself. You know when to go silent. You know what I'm saying? You know when to stop talking. You know what I'm saying? You know when your anxiety start pumping and stuff like that, based on something somebody did or something somebody said. All of these things can help you with your mental health. And if you ask me, even though it's just my perspective, even though I think it's an educated perspective, because I study this as well, I'm not just talking, I actually study it as well. You know, I think it's all mindset and it's all anger. These things come from anger. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you can work on your anger and stuff like that, then you can work on your mental health. We're not talking about emotional health. We're not talking about, you know what I'm saying? Right now, we're just talking about your mental health. Things that upset you, things that make you mad, things that make you want to lash out on people. If you can control these things, you can get to a point to where now you're focusing on your mental health. You know what I'm saying? Versus just lashing out and snapping on people. You know what I'm saying? And then once you get to that point, it's like you gain enough strength to work on the other areas in your life, like your emotional intelligence. You become emotionally mature because you gotta realize some people are so emotionally immature that they're not even able to sit down and have certain conversations like this without even snapping. The moment you say something that they don't identify with or something that triggered them, it's a snap. People can't take constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? All of these things are in relation to each other one way or another. You know what I'm saying? And I think the best thing we can do, man, is just try to mirror each other. You know what I'm saying? Try to mirror each other and be a reflection of each other. You know what I'm saying? The world outside of us should be a reflection of us. You know what I'm saying? And a reflection of what we see it can be and what we want it to be. And starting with us though. You know, this is my personal take on it. Um, Again, I would love to hear the different perspectives, the different outlooks. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a conversation that need to be had. You know, because mental health again is a silent killer, man, and it's a silent death. You know, but I feel like it's a crime. I feel like the real crime is to keep talking about it and to keep overlooking it and acting like it don't exist, and to acknowledge it as a problem, but to never want to find a solution for it. I feel like that's the real crime. You know, but all in all, that's my take for the day, man. And hopefully y'all can take something up or take something from it, man. Y'all keep y'all gear on out there. Stay locked and loaded, man, and y'all keep y'all gear on out there. That means keep your head on strong, keep your mind tight, man, and stay thoughtful, watch your surroundings, be aware of yourself and your surroundings. Again, to be aware is to be alive. Peace and blessings to y'all, family. One love.